ahead of its time and yet dated by today's standards, but not by gameplay, story, or world building. It's just, where the hell do you want me to go, Zelda? Like, help me help you. Can you give a brother a hint? Legend of Zelda for the Nintendo Entertainment System is bold, groundbreaking. It's a release that dared to challenge kids. Shigeru Miyamoto had a lot of faith that kids or younger teenagers would take on the challenge and get lost inside the land of Hyrule on a quest to save not just Princess, but the world. In the month of February 1986, one of the most genre-defining NES games released. Sadly, North America had to wait a whole year. The game sold like eating hotcakes off Beyonce's ass cheeks.
But you gotta eat the booty like groceries.
Legend of Zelda is Miyamoto cooking with some early 8-bit magic. Miyamoto as a child would explore caves and open areas in Japan. I always felt that Miyamoto played Atari's Adventure for 2600, but Miyamoto denies it. Legend of Zelda is an adventure game that excels at being cryptic and very accessible at the same time. While exploring Hyrule, you will start to get a feel for the combat system and pretty much find rupees, which is considered currency, almost everywhere. Items will also be abundant, but the twist is knowing where and when to use the items. This is the main reason I believe Legend of Zelda succeeded, because it was so cryptic that it made information valuable. If you wanted to know how to get to the Master Sword, well, you better have enough hearts. But if you don't have enough hearts, you have to find them in specific places. And to get those places, you need bombs and both candles. The Legend of Zelda is a simple story. You, as a character named Link, is tasked with saving Princess Zelda from an evil wizard named Ganon, with an army of creatures that threaten the world. Princess Zelda, in her clairvoyant wisdom, knew to hide the one weapon, the Triforce of Courage, in 8 dungeons, and wait for the adventurer strong enough to conquer each dungeon and unite the pieces and defeat Ganon.
Okay.
The lore and the amazing gameplay will be your sticking points for you. As Link, your journey will see you traverse deserts, never-ending forests, graveyards, mountains, lakes, labyrinths, and oceans. Each destination requires tools like rafts, ladders. This is why Legend of Zelda is special, because good luck deciphering Grumble Grumble. This works in Legend of Zelda's favor for replay and finding items you might not have known about, but through modern eyes, this can make it almost impossible to play without a guide or a walkthrough. I can't tell you how this game felt on release. I can, however, tell you that if you went to school and told your classmates that you beat Legend of Zelda for NES, they will praise you and crown you the biggest stickers for the day. Real story. Gameplay is top-down view. Enemies attack in what feels like fair patterns, easy to predict visually, but that's the deception, I swear. Enemies will occasionally zig when you were expecting them to zag. Details and graphics are spot on for 1986. Very few times did things not look detailed for 8-bit sprites. I can easily identify the dongos and moblins, but some designs are outright silly looking. I'm looking at you, Wall Masters. And you know what? Fuck Zora, cheap ass water dragon. The gameplay is fair, but be warned, there is large starting curve. Once you get some hearts, things will change, especially once you start acquiring different rings, which changes damage. The sound of the game is classic. The music is memorable, damn near remarkable, to the point that the overworld theme might become all you hear, even inside dungeons. Not knocking the dungeon theme, just explaining that the overworld theme will get stuck in your head, and it will carry. And being that this soundtrack is very limited, it might be the only thing you remember, music-wise. Story isn't very strong. Without the manual or the years of explanation and lore, you wouldn't know the main character's name. Even though it's not important since you can write anything you want, the Legend of Zelda series has amazing story and lore, but in 1986 the game story was just very limited to Nintendo Power Magazine, game manuals, and hearsay from school and playgrounds. This hampers the pick up and play aspect of Legend of Zelda. You seriously need a walkthrough or a guide to find your way, the many secrets of the map. Younger kids will probably become frustrated with the lack of instructions, but one YouTube search and boom, you will see there's many guides. In case you were wondering, yes, I definitely use a walkthrough myself. There's no way I'm going to go searching for hours just to get enough hearts to get the Master Sword or the Red Ring. Don't judge me. You know what? Just bring in the numbers. For graphics, we have 7 out of 10. Sound, 6 out of 10. Music, 5 out of 10. Gameplay, 8 out of 10. Story, 4 out of 10. Which brings us to a final score of 30. Which means...
Off the rocks! Which way you go? Good time!
And it's really rad. Those creatures from Ganon are pretty bad. Yeah, go Link. Yeah, get some.
Make it stop! Make it stop! Caucasian all alone! Caucasian all alone! Caucasian all alone! Caucasian!
As I like to remind the meatheads, the final score is not a true representation of my opinions of this game. It's more of a joke. Legend of Zelda is special. It's arguably the best game on the NES. The game functions well as a benchmark for exploration and sandbox. You can literally start backwards and conquer dungeons however you want. I never found the Red Ring until my recent playthrough, though there are many playthroughs where people beat the game with just the white sword and the arrows. I will admit I was hard on the story because of how amazing later games get, especially dealing with alternate timelines. The story is fine, but just not what I know what it will become with further entries in the series. The look of Legend of Zelda still holds up to me. Younger newcomers may struggle because the sprites have unique looks, but not clear on the differences of arrows or silver arrows. Some enemies look better than others, but still, these are not distractions for how solid the gameplay is. Gameplay is literally the most important aspect, and it does not disappoint. I found myself frustrated, yet I felt like a badass once I started getting back in shape and remembering tactics I had long forgot. Items are a necessity. I found myself learning, leaning on the magical boomerangs, stunning enemies. That became like my go-to combo. The significance of Legend of Zelda cannot be underplayed. Besides being ranked as the second greatest NES title of all time, the influences can be seen in almost every RPG or adventure title. Most will usually give a slight nod with different homages to the Legend of Zelda series. Being honest, I'm not the only one that names characters in RPG Link. While Legend of Zelda is not a typical RPG, that doesn't stop many from claiming it, as their franchise as the first RPG experience. In summation, I enjoyed revisiting and clearing this classic. Gameplay is still amazing. While Legend of Zelda aged poorly in cryptic ways, it still rewards you because it allows you to kind of accomplish tasks in your own time and make your own path. I can say the music is limited, but boy, do they make the few songs used count. If you can play Legend of Zelda for the NES, then do yourself a favor. Maybe you will find yourself immersed in Hyrule on a quest to save your girlfriend.
I'm gay.
What? You're gay?
Maybe? Oh, but don't worry, I'm still on a never-ending quest to save you.
Get him!
The hell you are! I do not want to be saved by no limp-wristed, fart-catching, rough-ranging fairy boy. So you could just fly your flesh rocket to Chocolate Land for all I care.
Till next next time, people. Tekken 8 videos next.
I always tell her, don't get kidnapped. Pfft, Legend of Zelda should be Legend of that dumb can't stay out of trouble.